Radio Rahim here with a man that many of you may not know, but he's responsible for the fighter you love. Tom Loeffler has brought us here to speak with Gennady Golovkin after a tremendous year. Excellent work on your part. First of all, taking a fighter from Kazakhstan, of all places, obviously relatively unknown, but with the ability and talent of Gennady Golovkin, how was the journey up and through 2013 for you?
I'll tell you, starting out in 2013, it was hard in the sense of just getting someone to fight him, getting someone in the ring to fight him. It was easy on their side as far as working with Abel and with Gennady for them approving opponents. Now, after his accomplishments in 2013, we're looking forward to a much bigger 2014.
Radio Rahim here with Abel Sanchez, a name you are, if you don't already know, you're certainly learning come 2014. Abel, you have one of the most sought after fighters in boxing right now. And when I say sought after, I mean by fans and media types like myself, but not necessarily by other fighters. Being a trainer and knowing what it is to have fighters and looking out for their best interests, why is it that you think it's so hard for Gennady Golovkin to find opponents?
Well, first of all, he can punch with either hand like nobody else in the middleweight division. That's the first reason. The second reason, he's got this pedigree, amateur pedigree, that he is a boxer. He can box. He can move. He's got great balance. And it's difficult to go into a fight as an opponent and thinking this guy's got 14, 15 knockouts in a row, I may be the next one. But we're trying. It's been difficult, but we're trying.
Radio Rahim sitting here with Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, HBO's Fighter of the Year. First of all, at the end of this year, you've gotten quite a few accolades. Jim Lampley named you Fighter of the Year. You've had a couple of Fighter of the Year knockouts this year. Just talk to me about what it's like to end the year on such a high note.
Just first, thank you very much for my fans, for my people. I'm glad. This is big present for me for my Happy New Year.
Now, obviously you're not American-born, but you do train here in Big Bear. Are you feeling the momentum of picking up American fans?
Yes, absolutely. Of course. I'm not born in America. Just my style. I know I have my style. I feel it, my style. This is for American people, because in America, boxing, first class. In boxing, first class. I love it. I'm every month. 3 months in America, in Big Bear Lake, in California. 2 weeks in home, going to Germany, and come back. I live in here. I live in Big Bear Lake. This is my second home.
Before we leave 2013. He was named Fighter of the Year by Jim Lampley.
Yep.
A couple of his knockouts were listed as Knockouts of the Year. With his focus and ability, first of all, how do you keep such a young man focused from such a small town when he's in a huge spotlight in America?
Gennady's self-motivated, and he's very disciplined, and he's focused on his goals, and he knows that he has to sacrifice now in order to get to where he wants to be in the boxing world. I mean, he's had the 2 candidates for Knockouts of the Year, which is very rare for one fighter to have 2 candidates automatically, and he has a 15 knockout streak right now, and so that's what we're looking at building on. And at this point, with his ratings on HBO, with his last fight against Curtis Stevens, he had a 3rd highest rated show on cable TV. We're looking for big things coming up in 2014.
How long did it take you to know that you had something special?
The first time I caught him on the mitts. The first time I caught him on the mitts, I said to him, I put the number 1 through 12 on my board, on my chalkboard, and I put Muhammad Ali at the top, then left number 2 vacant, and put Floyd, of all the contemporaries, Floyd, Manny, all the guys. I says, if you give me 3 years, I promise you, you're going to be number 2 right here, above everybody else, and the most avoided middleweight, the best fighter in the world. And it's 3.5 years later, and that's exactly what it is. Nobody wants to fight him.
It's interesting that you mention better opponents, because, as you said, your opponents haven't been shabby, but to become a superstar, you really do have to fight the best. So when talking to HBO, what's your plan to get Peter Quillin or Sergio Martinez in the ring?
He's right. Why is better opponent? I hope this year I have great time. Unification fight. I want unification fight. I understand my situation. I work with HBO. This is my work in ring. This is my work. I hope, I want unification fight. Just I think this year, this is true.
In addition to a unification fight, which I believe should come first before you would move up in weight, everyone, including yourself and Andre Ward, have mentioned the possibility of a mega fight between Gennady Golovkin and Andre Ward. If the unification fight can't be made, is that a goal for you, Andre Ward, in 2014?
Yes, this is true. Just I respect Andre. Andre is the best, athlete for me, the best boxer. I have right now my focus for 160 because I have a lot of champions. Look, WBO, Peter Quillin, WBC, Sergio, just Miguel Cotto, just is great fighters. I have great fighters, just in later years, of course. I hope, and in the future, it's a great fight. Not just for me. This is great deal. This is great business. It's great for everybody, for fans, for TV.
Now, being a mid-level promoter, it's not easy for guys to break through in the promotion side of this game. With a superstar like Golovkin, how difficult has it been? Like you said, it's hard to find guys to fight him before. Now, finding guys to fight him is necessary to enhance his superstardom. How difficult has it been getting 2014 lined up, and what are your goals for this year?
Well, it's a lot easier now. I mean, we do the big fights over in Europe, all the Klitschko, the heavyweight championship fights. So, the Gennady were the first fights that we did back here in the United States as K2, and now with Mike Perez. But it's all a matter of economics. Nobody would fight Floyd if they weren't getting, guarantees of millions of dollars. So right now, with the financial backing of HBO, it's made it a lot easier to start lining up opponents, and that's what we're excited about. And with this transition to the mainstream and with the ratings that Gennady has accomplished for last year, that makes this year a lot easier, even though he's still knocking everybody out. So it's there's still a big risk, but now there's a big reward to fight him.
Most people would say they'd love to see Gennady against Andre Ward. Other people, maybe as many, would say Sergio Martinez. At this time, neither one of those fights seem imminent, like they're being made currently. Which one of those fights would you like first, if you could have either, and how does he match up best? Who does he match up best against?
I think that it's unfair to ask a fighter to move up a division when he hasn't conquered the division that he's in. And the reason I say that is because Andre in 168 has beaten everybody that was anybody at 168. So he kind of has the mantle of the king of the 68 pounders. Gennady hasn't been allowed to develop not only his repertoire, but also to be named the king of the 60 pounders. So until then, I think it's a little unfair to ask him to move up to 168 until he's on a par with Andre. And I think that he would match up well with Andre. I think he would match up well with Carl Froch. I think he would match up well with any of the 60 pounders. Sergio doesn't go 7 rounds with Gennady, but Sergio's not going to fight Gennady. That's evident just by the fact that he's fighting Cotto sometime in June. But any of those guys, we're never going to know until somebody pushes his buttons, until somebody pushes him how good this kid can be. We already know how good Andre is going to be because we have had the best in with him. But until somebody pushes this kid's buttons at this level, we're never going to know how good he's going to be or how good he could be.
Now, mentioning Miguel Cotto, obviously he's an HBO fighter. That might be an easier fight to make if you can't get Martinez. How do you feel about fighting Miguel Cotto?
I think it's a great fight. Not easy fight. Miguel is big champion. Sergio too, he's very smart, just very interesting fight. Not just for me, for everybody.
Stylistically, what are your advantages against a fighter like Miguel Cotto?
This is not my dream, this is good business. This is good business. This is a very serious business, seriously. This is a very serious situation. Did not just give me time, just right now my focus for February 1st. In the future, yes, maybe.
With Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao in the sunset of their career, obviously neither one is done, but we're looking to the future. HBO is certainly known for looking to the future. Have you had a discussion with HBO executives as far as how you're going to get a Peter Quillin and a Sergio Martinez, are you going to be able to bridge this kind of Cold War gap we've got going for the benefit of your fighter?
I can't really speak on the Cold War. I mean, that's something that they'd have to work out on their side. But, HBO's made the commitment. They're looking at Gennady as being one of their stars, moving into the future. And, with their financial backing, they said, if we can't force somebody to take the fight with them. Sergio's never turned down the fight with Gennady. It's just, the timing hasn't worked out in terms of his availability and, every time Gennady's fought. But that's a great fight. Sergio Martinez, Peter Quillin's another great fight. And we make it easy on our side to put the deals together. There's really no hurdles from our side. It's just a matter of now with the financial backing from HBO putting the fights together, and they have a commitment of if we can't get the other champions to fight him, that they'll just keep putting Gennady in until he's at that point where everyone considers him the best middleweight in the world.
If you're not interested in moving up until he's cleared out the 160 division, which I think is a respectable position, it would be great to be able to unify those titles. But the politics, we're slipping back into the business of boxing now. The politics seem to be standing in the way quite a bit as well, especially with Peter Quillin being a Showtime Golden Boy fighter, and now Martinez not seeming to be interested when the fight is hot. What's your road for Golovkin? If the politics stay as they are, does he languish at 160 and just keep fighting whoever he can get, or are you forced to move up?
No, we have to stay busy. And staying busy means fighting every 90 days, hopefully, fighting 3 or 4 times a year. The politics are getting in the way, yes, but the politics are getting in the way because it's Gennady Golovkin. Look, when Peter Quillin fought his last fight, who was the first name that he called out? Do you remember?
I thought called Golovkin.
No, called out Sergio Martinez, an HBO fighter. Why is it okay to call an HBO fighter in Sergio Martinez, but doesn't call out Golovkin who's an HBO fighter? All of a sudden, the politics get in the way.
You can't force a champion to fight him. We went over the situation with Daniel Gil, where WBA mandated Gil to fight him, and he vacated the title in order to take the fight in Australia. So it's one of those things you can't force people to fight, but that's the goal on our side. And just like with Vladimir unifying the heavyweight titles, that's the goal for Gennady, to unify the middleweight division and to prove that he's really one of the best middleweights, or the best middleweight out there today, and one of the best middleweights in history.
So are you willing to say that both Martinez and Quillin are ducking Golovkin? I mean,
well, Martinez definitely is, because he's moving down to fight Cotto. Okay, he definitely is, because that's the fight that every fan wants. Okay, because supposedly he's the best middleweight. Let's fight the other best middleweight, who the fans perceive as the best middleweight. And we're not going to find out that he is or he's not until they do fight. Now, as far as Quillin ducking him, I'm not going to say he's ducking him. What he's saying is just standing behind a veil that allows him to go about his business and not. That's a way of saying no. It's like they offer you a fight. Well, I want $10 million. Well, there's not $10 million in the fight. Okay, that's the veil that he's hiding behind. But if you really wanted to fight, understand this: Golovkin had the third highest rating last year on HBO. Okay, on TV networks. Period. Quillin's an undercard fighter. Has he been a main event yet? No. So why would we take a step back and go back to Showtime when he's against an undercard fighter, when he can come up and get better money, better ratings on HBO?
All right, now lastly, before I let you go ahead and have your lunch, February 1st, you're fighting yet another opponent that's tough but not well known. So does that put more pressure on you to continue to get these big knockouts and make a statement against guys who, aren't easy, but you have to make it look easy?
I think it's not easy. I saw the last couple fights. He's strong first. He's good athlete. Second, he's not scared. He has good motivation. He's hungry. He's never been in knockdown. I think it's a great fight for us. This is not easy fight. This is serious.
And when you are on your way up, everyone from your country supports you. They love you. You're winning American fans. But now, as you become a superstar, can you talk to those fans who haven't been made aware of you yet, the people who don't know you? What are they going to learn about you this year as HBO puts you in the spotlight?
Yeah, I think this year is much better, because I learn English. I'm practice my style. I think this year I am much better.
Gennady Golovkin fighting out of Kazakhstan by way of Big Bear, California, his second home. Radio Rahim with Triple G.